Hi, this is Mike and I'm back, and today is Monday, March 25th, 2024. I hope you all had a good weekend. Try to get this video out and catch you guys in the afternoon after lunch. And today we're going to cover a quick topic, New York Notary name and signature change rules refresher. We're going to do a quiz of 3 questions, and hopefully it'll be a little bit entertaining and not take a lot of your time. There's some things we got to cover because when people order brand new notary supplies because they were just commissioned as a notary public in New York State, and when people continually renew their license and update with new notary stamps and seals, etc., we notice that they're submitting their names to us wrong that don't match up when we check with the New York State Notary Public Licensing Database. So we notice that they're not resubmitting their official names that they're appointed under, and that's problematic. We've already covered that. But basically, it's a pattern here that we have to address. So anyway, just to review a basic premise of our notary rules, official misconduct is a public servant is guilty of official misconduct when, with intent to obtain a benefit or to injure or deprive another person of a benefit, he commits an act relating to his office but consisting of an unauthorized exercise of his official functions, knowing that such act is unauthorized, or knowingly refrains from performing a duty which is imposed upon him or her by law or is clearly inherent in the nature of your office. Misconduct is cause enough to suspend or revoke your notary license. So people indicate when we call them to find out why they aren't using the official name. They say, well, I always sign my name this way, and I married or I divorced and I've changed my name to this. And then they change their notary signature and the way they want their stamp made without going through the process. So, it's something that can cause you a problem. So let's just go over and do some quick quiz on the 3 main areas. So a notary public must sign the name under which you're appointed and no other. When you submit your oath of office with your initial license, or when you resubmit your new oath of office every 4 years upon renewal, your signature must match the official name on your notary license, which matches the name the way you submitted it in the application to renew. And then you get a new license back from the state. They email it now, and it has to match what you're signing and what is on your oath, your stamp, your notary stamp. So question number 1, if your official name is John Romero Smith, so you're appointed under John Romero Smith, which of the following is the correct signature? John Smith, John R. Smith, we see a lot of that one, or John Romero Smith. It has to be John Romero Smith. And people will even argue with me when I call them, and they'll say, well, that's too long to write it out that way, and that's not the way I write my name in everyday life. But you have to write it for notary public signature the way you're appointed. No ifs, ands, or buts. So for convenience, that would be a benefit to you, right? You can't change it for your own benefit because remember, that could be construed as official misconduct if you're doing it to benefit yourself for convenience. So sorry, that's just the way it is. People don't like hearing that, but we're seeing a real pattern of that. Okay, next, when a notary marries during the term of office for which he or she was appointed, he or she may continue to use the name under which he or she was commissioned as a notary public. However, if he or she elects to use his or her marriage name, then for the balance of his or her term as a notary public, he or she must continue to use the name under which he or she is commissioned in his or her signature and seal when acting in his or her notarial capacity, adding after his or her signature his or her married name in parentheses. When renewing his or her commission as a notary public, he or she may apply under his or her married name or the name under which he or she was formerly commissioned. He or she must then perform all his or her notarial functions under the name selected. So yeah, it used to be that women only changed their name, but now men change their name too. And so we've had the law updated with he or she and his or her all over it. So this applies to anybody under any circumstances when you're changing your name for marriage purposes. And by the way, there's no fee when you change your name for marriage purposes. Otherwise, there's always a $10 fee and we'll talk about on this video how you can change your name for religious purposes, for a religious title. Or you're just changing your name, but it's not for marriage purposes, then there's a $10 fee. So question, Mary K. Smith got married and changed her name to Mary K. Hidalgo-Smith. What name is she required to change her notary public commission and matching signature to when she renews? Mary K. Hidalgo-Smith, Mary K. Smith, in parentheses, Mary K. Hidalgo-Smith, close parentheses, or C, she is not required to change her official name and can renew with her original name. So that was a trick question. Remember, it's set up here that you can change your name and you can use both if you want while you're waiting till you change it to the new name. So if you want to change your name to the new married name while you're waiting, you can change it to Mary K. Smith and then in parentheses put Mary K. Hidalgo-Smith. And then when you renew as Mary K. Hidalgo-Smith, and that'll be your only signature. You can use both names this way with the one in parentheses, or you can change it to your new married name, or you can keep it as your old name. In this case, it would be Mary K. Smith. So they're all options. It's optional. So that was a trick question. Did I get any of you on that? Okay, the last one, the last reason for changing names is a member of a religious order known therein by a name other than his, it should say his or her, I guess, but they didn't update that, secular cognomen. That means the name you're given, like usually on your birth certificate, right? You may appoint it and may officiate as a notary public under the name by which you're known in religious circles. So down here I have some kind of a shaman, we respect all religions in New York state law. So name changes cost $10 paid to the Secretary of State for a religious order name change, unless for marriage purposes, which we just covered, in which case the fee is waived. All right. So let's see what an example of this is with a quiz. So question, a new notary was appointed under the official name Alvin Ronald Keystone. So that was his secular cognomen, right? As they referred to it, the name that he had before he changed his name for religious purposes. So Mr. Keystone became an ordained pastor and is now called Pastor Alvin R. Keystone at the place of worship, we'll call it. So question, what can he do now? What can Ronald Keystone do? A, change his name and signature to Pastor Alvin R. Keystone, or B, keep his name and signature as Alvin R. Keystone, or C, pay $10 to the Secretary of State and change his name and signature to Father Alvin R. Keystone. Okay, so in this case, he has a choice. He can keep his name and signature as Alvin Ronald Keystone, right, which isn't one of the options, or he can pay $10 to the Secretary of State and change his name and signature to Father Alvin R. Keystone. So that's the correct answer in this case. He can't use the middle initial R. That was a trick question because his official name, if he doesn't want to change it, was Alvin Ronald Keystone, so he can't use Alvin R. And can he change his name and signature to Pastor Alvin R. Keystone? Yes, but the more correct answer is he can only do it after he pays $10 to the Secretary of State with a special application you could download off the Secretary of State's website. So that was a little bit of a quick review for you folks, but this comes up a lot with people when they're renewing and they're changing their name for other purposes too. People change their name just to get a legal name change too. Some people want to start a new life, I guess, like changing your hair color. And they change their name and then they do court paperwork, and in that case it would be a $10 fee to change to that new official name. So hope that was fun for you guys. So as always, anybody looking at the first time can always go to our website, www.howtobecomenotaryinny.com, and there you can get our online licensing class. It can be done in one day. You have 8 months access maximum and get licensed super quick. Notary supplies for you notaries in there. You can get this big 8 by 11 I love me wall. We have it in a black and a brown frame, and that displays your name where you work. You can put it on your cubicle, on your divider, so that everybody who walks by there sees that you pass an exam that 60% of the people fail, but don't let them know that less than 1% of our people report failing. You can update your notary stamp. For those of you that are changing to get a remote online notary license, we have a course on that with a software discount. Software is required and approved by New York State. You're going to get a new notary license number, so you'll need new stamp and seal if you change to Ron. And people ask me, when you get a remote online notary and you already have a basic traditional notary license, do you have to then only do Ron? No. You can always do whichever one you want. If somebody comes before you physically, you can take out your regular stamp and do face-to-face without being online. The good thing about the remote online notary, people they use that as a business revenue. They put up a website, and then your jurisdiction is the whole world. You can notarize for every state from New York, and you can notarize for every country, as long as whatever you're notarizing is something to do with United States paperwork. Usually people have businesses and family in other countries and money going back and forth. That's all legal from New York State. And a remote online notary, Ron New York Notary, can get $25, whereas a traditional basic notary, which is this class, which is required first, you have to get a New York Notary online licensing class, and take an exam in person. It takes an hour to take the exam. Our people report finishing it in 15 or 20 minutes. You can see that at our testimonials page. We have hundreds of them there. And also, if anybody's trying to self-study, you can always go do our sample New York Notary practice exam to understand what the questions are going to look like on a state exam. And for anybody that didn't come here by the link in our email newsletter, you can join the New York Notary Association. It's no cost, and one of the benefits is you get these videos, but there's other benefits in the newsletter, so sign up. Why not? It doesn't cost anything. Join the other notaries in New York State that are in there. We do these newsletters now 2 to 3 times a month. So any questions, just feel free to call me, Mike, at 347-427-9091, extension 1. And as usual, help our YouTube channel out. We don't monetize it. So you can help us out by subscribing and hit that notification bell, like, comment, and share. It just helps us out. If you have a Gmail account to log into that, you can't do that on YouTube unless it's a Gmail account. Okay, so that's it. Hope you're having a good rest of your Monday, and we'll see you soon.